All that just to get that going.
Right.
David's not here because I'm in a whole nother location. So hopefully when he records it, when he edited it, he'll do it. So yeah. Hit that intro.
When you're not too busy, trying to waste some time. Watch every show, don't know where to go, you wish time would go by. I have a suggestion, do whatever you want with it. It's not your first, but it's not your last. Your second favorite podcast. Your second favorite podcast, the show that is just for you. Your second favorite podcast, we're not doing it for the few. Your second favorite podcast, conversation all over the place. Just sit back and relax. Your second favorite podcast. Your second favorite podcast.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to your second favorite podcast. I'm your host, Nico, and I'm with a special guest here, Mr. Brandon, OtterGeek enthusiast.
Yes, sir.
Other words that you use when you have guests on. All these
I don't know about expertise thrown in there, so make sure that one get thrown in.
Tech connoisseur.
Yes, sir.
Future CEO of a company.
Yes, sir. You know what? That is actually very kind.
You know, that's very kind.
It's kind of hard to think of yourself in that light sometimes.
It is. It's hard to accept compliments, and I'm good for that.
Right.
I can't. If people be like, "Oh, that was good, man," I'm like, I can't accept that.
Right.
Because really, ain't I?
Ain't I like the song?
Yep.
Ain't I blowing strong?
Hey, ain't I going on?
Hey.
But I come off as arrogant if I accept it, right?
Right. And nobody wants to be that guy that's kind of like,
right.
Got their, I guess butt on their shoulders. It's like super cocky about everything. Like
right.
if you say, "Oh yeah, that was a great video that you did." Like, "Oh yeah, I know."
Yeah, I know, right? Okay. I guess you got to have a certain kind of confidence,
right,
to just be like, you know what, you're okay. But I what works for me is let me deny it first, and then I'll accept it.
You know what? Exactly.
That method always works for people because you can't really be mad about that because you gave me the compliment now.
Right. Because it's like if you're so willing to accept it, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said something because I feel like I'm kind of fueling your ego at this point. Like, no.
Like, oh, that's good. Oh, no, it's okay. No, man, it's really good. I guess.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. It's almost like if somebody offers to buy you something, you have to deny it first because if you seem like you're going to take it, the first time they give it to you, you're a straight up moocher at that point. It's like, no.
Only thing that I had talked about this on one of the episodes of the podcast already because one of our guests that we had on here, I think she still watches the podcast. I'm not sure.
You need to put a tracker on.
She was on the episode though, so we was talking about she's so-called. She has a terrible sarcasm voice, so you can't really tell. If she's if she's joking around or whatever.
Right.
When we did that at a Cold Stone and the guy was like, "Oh man, let me pay for you." I was like, "Yeah, cool." I'm not going to argue with you on that. There was no reason for me to argue. So I was like,
were they taken aback whenever
they said no, they really thought she was it was a problem because she said that he
I got you.
She was making it seem like he jumped in front of them. But they was having a conversation, and then one of the girls didn't take care of us first, which technically it was a problem.
Right.
She took care.
Right.
There was a girl working with one of somebody, actually with Jada, and she was like just dealing with her, and then she saw him, and they knew each other, and it was like, "Oh, well, you still getting the same thing?"
Right.
And we haven't ordered yet, so it was kind of like, I still had that, but I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't. It's ice cream. And
it's not too big of a deal.
Right,
if somebody does that at like a Longhorn or something like that, it's totally different.
Which would be very weird to.
It would.
It'd be very annoying to be like, somebody just jumped. Hey, what's up, man? You want a table? You want a table real quick, man?
Meet me in the square, bro.
Yeah.
Like what square? What square exactly? Is that an address?
Longhorn's an undercover fight club.
Man, hey, the first rule about it is not to talk about
it. Exactly. That's why they just call it the square.
Man, you never know what's going on back there in that kitchen, man.
No, right? There was one Outback that I went to. Seemed like it wasn't set up for a restaurant. because it wasn't enough space for the waiters to walk by.
And it's like, that's a polar opposite. That's the first thing you need to be thinking about.
Exactly. I feel like it was an afterthought. Like maybe that wasn't originally an Outback.
You know what? It's a good chance that it probably wasn't.
That'd be interesting if that was.
Because it's like it may be one of those places where you legit have to fight for your food, though. Like you have to go back to the kitchen and actually literally fight to the death to get your steak or your blooming onion.
And now you know that Longhorn and Outback are undercover fight clubs.
Exactly.
those two restaurants are just fight clubs.
I'm telling you, now when you see someone show up with gloves, it's like, this is what it is. It's not a bare knuckle boxing ring anymore, apparently.
No, every time I see a Longhorn, I was about to say a Longhouse.
Longhouse. Almost like one of those shotgun style houses.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those in person?
No.
It's weird, man.
It's a shotgun house?
It's a shotgun house. Like they call it a shotgun house because you can stand at the front door and fire your shotgun.
Of course.
And it'll go right out the back door.
Is this a Southern thing?
It is.
Yeah.
It is, man. My somebody in my family actually lived in one, and we saw it for a family reunion. I'm like, this is actually like a real thing. Like you shoot through the front door, whoever's standing at the back, they're done. No ricochets, man.
What situation is somebody coming to the front door and getting shot at the back? I feel like that person is probably the one that's the victim.
It's got to be.
Because I don't see a scenario that you're like, oh, I found my shotgun outside and I'm going to get this intruder now. And for some reason, he's choosing to go to the back.
It's like maybe that could be like you're shooting from the back door and you're literally shooting the mailman. And then like at that point, you know you're not getting your package. So,
why is he breaking in the house?
I mean, technically it could be. Have you seen the stuff that Amazon's doing now?
Oh gosh.
Oh no. Man, it's hella creepy.
Oh, the ones that you can get a code. They give you a code and they can. Oh, well,
and it's like the locks are provided by like Amazon, or I think Yale is the other company that they do it through.
Right.
But it's like they can open up the door. And you're supposed to have a camera at your front door, so you can actually monitor them the whole time.
Exactly.
But if something goes wrong, or something's not recording, or someone has malicious intent, you just invited somebody to break into your house. Yeah. And how jacked up would it be if they stole everything, but they left you the package? Like, they were considerate enough to leave the package, but stole everything else in your house.
Which also would be great to that story is if the package was an actual security system.
That would be the most.
It's like the biggest twist of a movie. It's like that thief drops off security. It says that's his message to people. It's like get better security.
That's like his calling card.
Yeah.
You know how people leave like little weird tarot cards or something like that? You leave people's security systems.
And
like,
we're just going to call it
next time.
The Thief.
The Thief.
The Thief.
That's a good plot.
That's a tongue twister in a way. The Thief.
The Thief.
The Thief 3. Start out with 3, and then we'll give it a backstory later.
Exactly. And if you have the movie trailer narrated by somebody who has a lisp,
The
Thief 3,
The Thief 3
in theaters.
I don't even hear the third. Just on 3. Yeah. Well, you can't do it in 2003, so I guess we got to wait 20 years for 2033.
Yeah, that's true. Like that, but the thing is, that's going to be the movie for the ages, though.
Right.
I mean, it's already been said now.
Exactly.
So y'all know, like today is what, December the 5th, 6th?
6. It's the 6th.
Whatever this day is.
I had a bill due today, so I knew it was the 6th.
Every month on the 6th.
You know what? It made me think about that. Like, think about that. Those movies are going to come out in 3,333.
I wonder, like, what would they be talking about at that point?
I don't know.
Because, like, their reality is going to be totally different from ours.
It better be.
I would hope so. Because we still don't even have.
Years?
Yeah, we don't actually have legit hoverboards yet.
Exactly, which is annoying. Yeah. I don't like the idea that we call those hoverboards.
Yeah, man, that's like it's a 2-wheel death machine.
Exactly. I mean, it's essentially just a skateboard.
Right.
With two
hoverboards.
Wheels.
Yeah. I mean, because hoverboards were simply there to be. You can ride them on any surface except for water, like in Back to the Future.
Right, which was the whole point.
Right.
But they coming out with like a flying car. But my problem with that, actually, I was gonna make a video about like things that are named but not what they are.
Right.
Kind of like you know, like flying cars. It's a car that flies, but it has wings.
Exactly.
And like it's essentially a plane car.
Right. It's not using any advanced technology to actually get that lift.
And I get that though. That's it's hard to imagine something really doing that, but why not?
You know, it's like, especially because if you look at these science fiction movies, they make it look like these flying cars are effortless. You know? Like they can literally go for like millions of miles. But exactly. It's like we don't have that stuff yet.
Honestly, I think Tesla would be the people to probably dabble in some way.
It probably won't crazy enough to do.
Yeah, he'll probably get like a remote control car,
right,
and make it do it,
right. Because like he was the one pioneering the tunnels.
Yeah,
LA, and apparently they just stopped that.
Really?
Yeah, there was like a lawsuit.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe he was like trying to get to the point to where he was going through neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I didn't look too much into it, but it was a very slow moving thing, and then all of a sudden, lawsuit.
I totally forgot that was even the same person.
Yeah.
I do remember that was like, oh, all it's going to do is just make more traffic under places, but I don't know.
It's like you're trading devils for witches at that point. So it's like instead of getting caught up in traffic above ground, you're worried about getting stuck underground where there's like probably a lack of oxygen.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then, man? What do you do?
I feel like mostly everything you have said has been a movie in my head. Oh, look at that. Look at your boy Ramen.
See?
All right. But
see, there you go, man. When's that EP dropping, man?
Because of like devils and witches.
Right.
It's a very interesting movie because you're like, why those two?
Yeah. It's like trading one evil for another evil.
Exactly. I mean, but some witches ain't evil.
That's true because there are good witches and bad witches.
Yeah, it should be, right?
You know, yeah. You would think at least.
Is there good devils and bad devils? Because we can't call them angels.
You know, that is a very good point. Because it's like if there's certain levels of evil with witches, why can't it apply to devils?
Right. I guess kind of Lucifer does that in the show.
Yeah.
He kind of shows that, he was originally bad, but he has his good side. But he turns into an angel, though. He doesn't turn into an angel, but he starts to have wings because he's a fallen angel.
Right.
So I guess you really can't have a good devil because I guess I guess we're in demon territory now.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I guess you can't really be a good demon if you're a demon. Like that's bad.
You know, and that kind of reminds me of something that Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying. Mm-hmm. They were basically asking him what his views were on God.
Okay.
And he was basically saying that either in his eyes, either you can't have a God that's either all good or all powerful, because he's talking about, like all the stuff that goes on in the world and stuff like that. So it's like it kind of does make you think, like, are there levels to that?
Oh, there's levels to it. Have you watched American Gods?
No, I haven't watched that yet.
They don't dabble in it, but they kind of do that.
Really?
They do that kind of concept where it's like there's not just one God. There's a Hispanic Jesus. There's a black Jesus. There's like they have that, and everybody kind of has a role. Like there's like a good luck God, and there's a like these people have. These people have just the new settings.
We're about to go into seizure mode.
As soon as we start talking about it, they're like,
right.
Y'all better shut up.
I know, right? Fans are listening.
Look at that. See, we start talking about it. Go back to normal.
Uh-oh.
Oh, for the audio listeners, there's a LED. Is it called an LED light?
Yeah, okay. There's some form of
It's
LED.
a light that changes colors, and it started doing the most random flashing because it didn't do that at all.
If you had epilepsy, you would have been in a really rough spot right now.
Exactly.
Like, you would have gone into an attack about 45 seconds ago. So call the paramedics at this point.
Call the paramedics. Yeah.
EMT.
Tell the person that's going through the arrest to call the paramedics.
Right.
Because you could definitely do that at that point, right?
But doesn't it seem like sometimes though they're always tagging along each other? Like, you mean to tell me there's just always an ambulance that's ready for a cop at any given time?
Huh.
Because they always show up at the same time.
Yeah.
To scenes for the most part. Or there's always an EMT going along with the fire truck.
Okay. Let me dissect that for a second. I kind of get why there is a cop for an ambulance. Because that makes me think ambulance, hospital, and cops. I feel like there's a high quantity of them.
Yeah.
But firefighters, I'm always seeing like a little station, and I'm like, there's no way
Right.
There's enough people to deal with as much crazy stuff that's going on.
Right.
But maybe their little stations are close enough where we need this team and we need this team.
Yeah, because I don't even know where the nearest fire station is to here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at elementary they would have made a get on us about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
You're supposed to know.
What do you do when you're on fire? It's like, I'm not stop, dropping, and rolling.
No,
that's for sure.
It's not I'm looking for water, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
If it's a grease fire, then you take the oxygen out of
right.
it, which was I learned that the hard way because we used a fire extinguisher for a grease fire, and it just ignites it.
Oh, yeah. What is it like? You're supposed to use flour for a grease fire?
Yeah, you're supposed to suffocate it.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
Yeah.
So you just kind of spread it about.
It just kept going. That was just
like,
it.
Engulfed in flames.
Exactly. And it was hot. It was hot out there. And actually, it wasn't even me. It was my dad that did it. And I laughed at him because, first of all, I think it was an old fire extinguisher.
Oh, man.
He just let that whole side of the grass burn. And I was just like...
So with it being old, like how does that affect the fire?
It doesn't do anything. It's almost like you might as well just throw whipped cream on it, because essentially it doesn't. It's not. It's I don't know. I'm thinking it's like old toothpaste. I don't know why I'm comparing it to that, but
old toothpaste doesn't work.
Yeah, it shouldn't work after a while, right?
Your breath is still gonna smell like donkey.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I don't know the technical terms. We're not a science podcast. I don't know that. That's not why you're here.
If there are any scientists that are listening, I would like for you to, message one of us about the properties of a fire extinguisher.
One thing I'm glad about not having a big audience is the crazy stuff that I say like that, and nobody's like,
oh yeah, you'll have people raising in the comments, keyboard warriors coming out to play.
Speaking of that, give me your opinion about disliking a video.
I've done a couple in my time.
Okay, really? What was your reasoning?
My reasoning behind it is always to where the video starts out with so much promise. Like it's an instructional video.
Yeah.
And you get to the end of it and they have covered nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like that's 17 minutes of my life that I cannot get back. So the least thing I could do besides reporting your video for wasting so much of my time is giving you a dislike. That's like the ultimate FU.
Right. I think that's the best time to dislike a video because it shows the next person this is a waste of time.
Exactly.
Don't worry about this one.
Exactly, man.
I was on the ends of like if I don't like it, I just move on. There's no reason to action on it, but
I was like that at one time. But some people, they just literally will make me that mad to no end, to where I'm like, I really needed to find something out, and especially in a pinch, and you just wasted my time. Like I watched this video the other day, and it was how to rank up your guns fast in Call of Duty, Black Ops 4. This dude went through the most basic stuff. He was like, so what you want to do is you want to go into matches with other players so that gets you a higher percentage to get more points. And then once you're done with that, you move on to the next match. I'm like, so you play the game. That's what you're telling me. And this video, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. This video was 7 minutes and 28 seconds long. I was so mad at the end of that video that I wanted to leave him a comment, but people had already ripped him a new one so bad. So I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be ripping him a new one. That's basically just throwing something and it just lands in there at that point. So I'm not going to throw a monkey wrench into the mix, man. I'm not going to do it, man.
You know what trips me out is, since you said comments, which trips me out is people that give the same comment. It's annoying. Like, say, like, there's somebody in a video that maybe looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Right.
And they're like, oh, this guy look like a Ninja Turtle. You see 20 people with that same thing, and they're like hours apart.
Right. It's like, were you not reading the comments before you get to that point?
You just scroll to the bottom, add my comment. Oh, I said that too. Come on. Like, you thought nobody thought of that?
Right. I'm like, the most you need to do is like that person's comment.
Yeah.
But it's like they do. I feel like they kind of do it so they can actually get their own justification.
Right.
If they put it out there and people start liking it too, it's like, those are pity likes.
Yeah,
like,
I know, right?
Someone's already covered that joke. Like, come on, man.
I seen a post like that on Twitter that was like, if you see these 4 people, they stole somebody's tweet.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I didn't even notice that. But now every time I see it, I'm like, yeah, I do see that tweet a lot. I did see that tweet already.
It's the same like memes that go around like Instagram and stuff like that. And it's like, it's funny when you hear someone repeat a joke they saw in a meme.
Yeah.
and they pass it off like it's their own original content. Like, it's not funny. Everybody's already seen it.
Exactly.
Like, that was on World Star 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was on Facebook every single year up until now. Like, we know you're active on social media. Like,
that is
least
annoying.
Repackage the joke.
Yeah, or something. Same emoji. Maybe they added something off. Maybe they tried to put a little bit of flair on there. Right. But it's like, no, you said the same thing.
It's strange, man.
It is. And
it's the weird things.
Social media is just a big, annoying. It could be annoying and it's funny sometimes, but mostly annoying. Because I guess annoying things stick out more than funny.
Right. Because it's like, it's just really repetitive.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part that always gets me. Like, I get on social media, it's like once every blue moon.
Right.
And I'm talking about that moon has to be like indigo blue.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is basically purple.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's how rare it is. But it's just to the point to where, like, every time I scroll down my timeline, it's the same stuff every time.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you see the same selfies, you see the same stories. Right. You know, people are like running around, like, or no, what trips me out are the people that literally have the camera and they're just staring into the camera and music's playing in the background, or they'll be blowing out smoke or something like that. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I
don't get it either.
Man, 2018 going into 2019, man, something's got to be different. Like, somebody's got to do something original, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I like. Not trying to find something to add on to my video, but I'm definitely is TikTok. You never heard of TikTok?
I've never heard of TikTok.
Yo, this is crazy to me. Yo, TikTok is basically Musical.ly. You remember Musical.ly?
Yeah, yeah.
They changed their stuff and made it TikTok. And they try to come off as like, they don't try to come off as, people kind of put this in the category of like the new Vine kind of thing.
Really? So they're resurrecting that?
Nah, but they saying that because how many people use it.
Oh, I get you.
What people use it for.
So it's got the potential to be like,
kind of, but it's stupid because it's basically unoriginal stuff. So it's like, say that you did a skit, right? And it was funny and people played. There's people making videos of them acting out probably the same skit, or they doing something kind of close to it.
Oh, now that's lame.
Yeah, and
like
it's
almost like when people were redoing Kevin Hart's stand-up comedy and making him into a skit.
Now, actually, that's a little bit more creative than that.
Really?
Because it'd be like they'll probably do a song or something,
right?
And maybe the part of the song, maybe they say something like, "And I'm the most beautiful," and then they kind of like change their look. It's like this cringy content. Oh. Yeah, you look at it and like, oh,
I feel like that's something for kids, though. Like,
it is.
It's got it.
But you'll see grown men on there.
Oh, no. They're trying to go viral.
Yes. Everybody's trying to get famous off of this thing.
Come on, man.
In a way, you are. Because people gonna laugh at you for a minute.
That's true.
And then be like, "Oh, that's the guy that did this thing," or this grown man.
Be known for it's like you can't escape it at that point, man. Like, you got all these kids coming up to you. Oh yeah, you're the one who did the Whitney Houston song.
Yeah. It's so weird.
I don't know why that's like my kid. Like, I feel like every kid telling me, "Oh yeah, you're Whitney Houston.
Oh yeah, you're in Houston. You was that Whitney Houston song.
LeBron James. LeBron James."
I think my impression of everybody is the same. It's everybody's like this. Every single person. Like, or if it's a kid, I go,
stupid, man.
He don't really have any real audio, but he's just annoying.
But that's the thing though. Like, if someone sounds stupid, generally they all have the same undertone.
Yeah.
Like, if someone's asked you like a stupid question, man, it's like they may be talking in a regular voice, but your brain is gonna like interpret it like, yeah, what you mean? What you mean eating the chips?
I tried my hardest not to tell people stuff like that. I'll go, man, I was talking to dude all day, and he was like, oh, he didn't say it like that. He didn't say it like that. He said,
"You're gonna use the bathroom. You're gonna tell me."
It's like I try not to make people sound stupid, but sometimes it's just like I don't.
It's like second nature.
Yeah, it is
second nature,
and that's bad.
Maybe we just look at everyone else as being stupid.
Yeah. Every single person is stupid.
Hey, man, but that kind of begs the question though, like the people who are always complaining about people being stupid, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, is everyone else? Are you really that smart? or are you actually really the one that's that stupid?
Very, very.
And it's like you're just not understanding how everybody else works.
Exactly. And you know what's annoying about that concept is sometimes I'll be on Twitter and people like there'll be a post that be like it's misleading or whatever.
Right.
And then most people in the comments, I felt like my spit was just all over my face. I was like, most people in the comments. Most people in the comments saying like it's like a smart idea. Like it's like everybody's aware that doesn't make sense. But
right.
If sometimes everybody seems like they're on the right track, who are the idiots that we be talking about? Like,
that is a good question. That is a good question.
So it's like we all like, oh, you stupid to think this. Everybody's agreeing with each other on here. But I mean, that's just a rare post. Some people are like saying stupid stuff and they're there, but
because there's a good amount of trolls out there too.
Yeah, if you don't have a picture. To anyone that's listening to this, if somebody doesn't have a picture of themselves on there, they don't exist.
Right.
They
almost
don't
like
exist.
the egg on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like the eggheads.
Oh, that's
man.
all gone too. That's so funny.
But they don't do the eggs anymore?
I don't think so. I don't see people. If anybody posts an egg, it's because they have an egg. Like it's because they use that picture. I don't think it's like, oh, you don't have a picture. Here's the default logo.
That's wild. Like that's something that I thought it's almost like everyone had Tom as their first friend on MySpace.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like the same thing. Like if everyone gets the egg picture.
Yeah, I wonder what Tom's doing now.
He's got to be still sitting on some money, man.
You would say that, right? And me and my girlfriend just talked about this the other day about one-hit wonders. Essentially, he's in that category of people like, do you really still have money, or are you just getting loans or something? Like, what is the deal here?
Because it's always like one of those things too, where I kind of wonder about that too. But it all comes down to if he was smart with his investments.
Right.
Like if he was smart about it, he'd be like, okay, well, let me go ahead and actually take this, take what I got, run with it, and then kind of do something behind the scenes for somebody else. The thing that's so funny about it is we could be wondering what he's doing, and he could be like a huge executive at Uber or something.
Yeah, I know, right?
For all we know.
He got some business. And
I mean, his name might not even be Tom for all
I know, right? But I don't even think he owns. Does he really own MySpace?
I don't know who owns it now. I don't even know if it's still a website.
It's still a website, but they became more of a music
Really?
oriented. They're kind of like a music website. Where
that's a tough space to be in.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, because I remember when they were getting into that where they were doing it for like the artists.
Yeah.
And then it was almost like SoundCloud before SoundCloud.
That's basically what
so
they
still kept running with that.
Yeah, and it looks like, I don't know, last time I logged in was like 4 or 5 years ago. But if my profile is still up.
What?
So I don't know if it's like you can use it as a regular profile.
Yeah,
I might have to check that up again. I might do a video about let's check back up with MySpace, see how they're going.
Man, because I wish my profile was still up. I deactivated that back in, I want to say 2007.
Mm-hmm.
It was my junior year in high school when I sophomore year when I deactivated.
Okay.
It was.
I said, don't date yourself now.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm getting old faster than I can even count.
I was in 7th grade in 2007.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yeah, so it's just weird for you to say that. I'm like,
yeah, because I was in 7th grade in 2003.
Damn, bro.
Because how old are you?
23. I'll be turning 24 in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, so you're my sister's age.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, a little bit older than my sister.
Yeah.
Happy early birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This podcast released before then.
Yeah, it should be like a week before the birthday.
Well,
so maybe we should say happy birthday next week.
Really?
If it's coming out next week.
It's
in 2 weeks, right?
It feels like an album coming out. It should be.
When is your EP dropping?
Yeah. Oh, next week, right?
Gotta be.
I think so. December 16th. Whenever that is.
Yeah, I think that's next week.
Because the 9th is Sunday.
Yeah, I think so.
So when this podcast releases, this is going to be the 11th. Yeah.
5 days out.
Yeah.
Nice.
So basically it'll be next week when the podcast posted. That makes sense.
That works.
That was a lot of thinking. I didn't need that.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, especially without having a calculator in front
Yeah, I
of you,
know, right?
Or like a calendar.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like, can I do math?
No, you know what? Here you go. I want to know a guy that only knows the dates by a calendar. by a calculator.
Oh,
It'd be like,
man.
Oh, you got a calculator on you? I need to know what date. What's the date?
That's 177 days from now is what it is.
That's the only way he tells days is calculating that.
That would be rough, man.
That would be.
I have a hard time, especially like, I don't know if most people know this, but when you go into the iPhone calculator, if you turn your screen in landscape mode, it shows you like the full calculus calculator. I'm like, what is this? Like half of it looks like Greek. I think it is to a certain extent.
Probably. I think he uses the same symbols in some way.
Yeah, man. It looks
like pi uses whatever.
And I'm convinced now at this point that all fraternities get their names by looking at a calculator. Because I'm like, I swear all these symbols that I'm seeing, like theta, chi, alpha, and all that stuff, is on a calculator, man. I'm like, that's not very original. That means nothing to me. So we figured you out, man. We figured all of y'all out at this point.
You be over here and sit and tell people, so y'all's fraternity is like the pi symbol.
Right. It's like, so your technical name is 3,726. How original. Like, yeah, we know those symbols translate into numbers. Okay?
Some kind of way. That would be weird if that is. But I think they're just letters, right?
Yeah, I mean, just letters, man.
They do look like it. They do look like calculator stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they lost me in math, though. When they started getting to the point to where,
Oh, no. You ain't doing that.
Oh, hey, take that if you got to.
No, I don't need to. That's my cousin. Sorry, man.
Oh, but you just threw your cousin under the bus.
All he gonna do is
I don't need to.
Oh, he probably gonna ask me if he could come over, but I'm not gonna be home. So,
ooh, what's your cousin's name?
Jalen.
I'm sorry about that, Jalen.
It's all right, man. You be fine.
Dang.
2 thumbs up. I only got 1 for now. I don't know why I thought my hand was so occupied. I couldn't just listen.
I mean, it's just a microphone. We've got to post.
Wouldn't even give him the chance to give him 2 thumbs up. See, I was going to ask at the beginning of this, like things that you're into now, like any new shows you're watching, but we're so in the middle of this. But go ahead, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, to tell you the truth, I just finished up Daredevil season 3.
Ooh, did you know it's getting canceled?
That is what was so disappointing.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, and the bad part about it is I started watching Daredevil season 3 a little late.
Right.
So I started watching the first episode. I'm like, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to be coming with it this season. Like, I wonder what they're going to do for the next season. Because I'm already thinking about the future, right?
Yeah.
I get on my Google feed after I finished the first episode, and I'm like, they targeted me directly.
Yeah.
Like, took a shot to the heart and says Daredevil will not be getting picked up for a 3rd season. I was so livid at that point.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then the thing that I'm really worried about is the fact that I don't think they're going to bring back the Punisher for a 2nd season.
Yeah, that's the only thing they didn't say anything about yet.
Right.
They took every other show out. I'm assuming so.
Right.
Because I think Netflix is just trying to go all original.
Yeah.
And they don't have Marvel stuff really. So
right. And then Disney is actually launching their own Disney Plus thing, I think, sometime next year.
But I don't think that they're going to pick them up for the Disney stuff, which kind of sucks.
It does, man. I mean, some of the Marvel shows, like Jessica Jones, for instance, I thought was a terrible show.
Which is funny because that's the show that kind of kicked things off.
Yeah, like Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Like those two went hand in hand. Right. I thought that was one of the worst.
Right.
I never watched Iron Fist, but everyone always said the acting and the writing was terrible. Yeah. So, and then there was Foggy. You remember Foggy from Daredevil?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Yeah.
Well, if you do watch it, I think Foggy was by far the worst part of the show. Really? He was from an old Nickelodeon show too, but I can't remember exactly which one.
Oh, you mean like the guy that played?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he has not progressed very much as an actor. Like, he is a terrible actor. Dog. At least in Daredevil. Like, yeah. The worst. Like, I'm talking abysmal, man.
Right. That's crazy.
It was bad.
I couldn't deal with that. That's tough, man. I didn't even think about that. Like, I guess I don't know. Because the thing is, I got this little plug for my old channel. I do a first timers review, so I was like, you know what? I might just check it out. I like superhero shows. And like, why not?
Because you love The Flash, right?
Yeah, I love The Flash, and it's just sometimes that's kind of a hard watch. But I just couldn't. I'm not really a huge Marvel fan. I like DC stuff. We had this talk before. Only reason why
I thought it would have changed by now. I mean, after Infinity War and everything else, man.
Make my other disclaimer. I love the movies,
just not the shows.
Just I love the movies because of as much as they've done. Meaning, like,
okay,
I wasn't a fan after. I wasn't like a huge fan after Iron Man and stuff like that. I was the X-Men. I love the X-Men. I like Deadpool. I didn't like him more until he started making more movies, and I started being more of a fan of him. But I was really X-Men and Deadpool, which technically sometimes Deadpool dabbles with the X-Men and stuff. But
yeah.
But that's it. Like I liked X-Men. That was the only Marvel. And Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as you like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider-Man is like the staple. He's like the glue that holds all of Marvel together. Because it's like most people don't go past, the basics. Like you've got Spider-Man, you've got Batman.
Right.
Those two are basically like the glue. Like and Superman.
Yeah.
And then you have your people who are more deeper into it when they start going, with the Flash, and then like with Jax and Wonder Woman, like all that other type of stuff.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like you have to have a base. You have to have at least at minimum an appreciation for the OGs that really kind of put that comic universe on.
Yeah, especially Batman, since he was the detective for that comic.
Exactly.
So he was really supposed to be that leaning forward guy. I don't know. It's just hard for me to get into Marvel because if it wasn't for the Avengers and all that, I wouldn't be able to tell you anybody besides Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America, and Hulk, obviously. But I didn't know these people's names. I didn't know Hawkeye and
a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, we like I wasn't invested in these guys.
Right.
And when I got introduced to the Flash. I don't know when I did that actually. I don't know when I started liking the Flash, but I used to always love the idea of super speed.
Oh,
and
okay.
That was just kind of something I just started adapting towards. So I was like, okay, I like the Flash, and my brother, he would always like Superman or something like that.
Right.
And I was just like, I don't want to like the same guy. I'll find somebody. So I watched the Flash, and then I kind of got into him all of a sudden. But I appreciate the DC stuff just because of their stature. And I was exposed to them a lot more.
Okay, yeah.
So
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure if I was growing up in this time, I would be a Marvel fan.
Right. But, I mean, Marvel just has a huge hype train around it right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's hard to really get in, especially if it's like every single time you turn on the TV, they're basically shoving something Marvel down your throat.
Yeah.
Now it's Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people like it's always funny to see too because I'm like a kind of a casual Marvel goer, really. So like I'll go see like basically all the movies, for instance.
Right.
But then it's always funny to see like when they have the end credit scenes.
Yeah.
And then it'll be something like most people have no idea what it's talking about, but there's always the hardcore Marvel fans in the back. Yeah. And it's like because when I saw at the end of Avengers, like the cut scene that happened there, it was introducing the new superhero.
Yeah.
And then, everybody was flipping out about it. I'm like, I think that's who it is. And then even when I found out who it was, I'm like, should we be that excited?
Yeah.
Should we?
It was, you talking Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
I think I was the only reason why I got excited. I wasn't like going crazy about it.
Right.
I just knew what it was.
Right.
That was one of those things I was like, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, it was confusing because Captain Marvel was a DC He used to be Shazam.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
I
think they've not recently, but I think it's been a while ago. They finally pushed him. But she has her own comic.
Yeah.
And so she been doing her thing, but
she's got a bunch of different names. Man.
Yeah, she does.
It's weird. Like they couldn't really settle on an actual like direction they wanted to go with her for a while. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, that's so wild. She's the most powerful character or most powerful hero, at least in the Marvel cinematic universe. I know for sure, but I don't know about the comics.
Yeah, and I guess the one thing I appreciate that y'all do, like
y'all,
you're the representative.
I appreciate you people.
I don't appreciate you people for doing this. The fact that most of y'all guys they're not born like that,
right?
Like with their powers, except for like Thor, obviously.
Yeah.
But Hulk, his was genetic. Iron Man's a suit,
right?
So it's like everybody kind of has their thing, and they're basically humans. Except for DC, you either you get a mutation type thing. Mm-hmm. Some people can be born with that power,
right?
and y'all dabble with the mutants thing though, so I guess that does come into play.
Yeah.
And people are born with their abilities.
Yeah, there's always like something a part of like the origin story.
Yeah,
But I mean, I guess DC's kind of got that too. Like Wonder Woman
she's Amazonian.
So that means she was.
People come from different places.
Right, that's true.
You got Green Lantern.
Green Lantern.
Yeah, they're kind of they dabble in more of that Thor realm of you come from a special place.
Right,
and people like the Flash and I guess Green Lantern. Al Jordan, whatever. Because they get it, but it still came from. I guess they wasn't born with it. I don't know why I thought about it like that.
I guess there's some people that are kind of born into it, really.
Yeah.
But it's like the thing is about with DC though is for a lot of people that don't read the comics, they're not doing the new people any favors. Like the new people coming in.
Yeah, I get that.
Suicide Squad, for instance, completely rushed.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the chick, like the samurai chick who had the mask on her face. They used maybe 30 seconds of that 2-hour-long movie to explain where she came from.
Yeah.
And even then, it still didn't explain anything.
Did do her any justice.
Yeah, man. It's like they're not doing themselves any favors, but like with Marvel, they've been building on this stuff for, 10 plus years.
Right.
And and then they finally came out with like the end all be all with like Avengers and Infinity War and stuff like that. But like DC, man, they're just trying to get in on the cash cow right now.
Yeah, they're trying to keep up, which is mainly two things about that. People don't understand that build for Marvel, and they're like, Marvel's obviously better than DC. It's like you're only basing it off of what Marvel built up.
Right.
And smart on their part because they built it. Right. They didn't have to rush it.
Exactly.
They was at a time where superhero movies wasn't really looked at, and they got into that motion.
Right.
But DC is trying to play catch up, and I get it. And it's tough watching that because you're like, I want to see these guys thrive. I mean, but
you can't be on top forever though.
No, you can't. You can't. But see, that's kind of DC's thing. It's like they're always mainly on top.
Right.
But right now in the movie game, Marvel is on top. So
yeah, and it's like you have to kind of look at it too. It's like the DC stuff is basically backed by, even like on the entertainment side of things, they're basically backed by Six Flags.
Yeah.
I mean, but you got Universal is who's backing all the Marvel stuff.
Kinda.
Because it's like if you go to like Universal in Orlando, you got the Hulk
and Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Spider-Man, and then. I mean, it's like those two are like super iconic.
Which is weird because Universal also has like Harry Potter Land, which that's under Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of conflict of interest because Warner Brothers also does DC stuff as well. You mainly see it on like Cartoon Network with like Teen Titans and stuff like that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's Time Warner. So anything under Cartoon Network, TNT, TBS.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that was the conflict about that because they do have the Spider-Man and the Hulk.
Right.
And you're like, and then the thing is She-Hulk. She-Hulk is not really under anybody.
Yeah.
Because she's kind of a hard property to mess with, I think. I don't really remember the logistics of her, but she's a hard property because nobody can't really get her. That's why you never seen her show up yet.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure obviously Marvel's working on that. And that was...
Because I don't really know a whole lot about her.
Right. And it's weird conflicts because, Disney...
Let's try to hit record again.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
That was weird. That was weird.
That was super weird.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I've never seen that before in my life. But I'm glad that we caught it.
Right, I know, right? Because I don't think there would really be any reason to see that.
Right.
Because I'm looking, okay. Turn blue.
All right. I would expect like a beep or something like that.
Yeah.
Like weird, just kind of cut off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It stopped, so I was like, what's happening? So like Disney, buying out Fox and stuff.
Right.
And so they got the little TV networks. So
has that actually gone through yet?
It's in the process.
Really?
So yeah.
So they did actually beat out Comcast.
Right. As far as I know.
Right.
But it's weird because like shows like Gotham is on there.
How is that? Is it good?
It has its moments. Like literally, if you can go back to every episode of Gotham, you could cut out some episodes and be like, oh, this is
a lot of filler episodes.
Yeah, a lot of filler. Yeah. And I get it because you're trying to tell the story of Batman in a perspective that people kind of go past at a point,
right?
Because we get the death of his parents, and then we're back. So that's what we would normally get. Right. But now we're like, oh, what happens right after?
Yeah, like
how does he cope?
Where's the in between?
Yeah, what does he do? And it's like that story interests me.
How does he really become Batman?
Yeah, and
it's not just one thing that makes you say, okay, I want to dress like a bat.
Yeah, I know, right? There's moments that you see him and you're like, okay, I think maybe a season ago, I think it was actually the beginning of the most recent season, whatever one that was, because I know post Nico would be mad that I'm talking like that. Whatever season that was, he comes in like an all black suit because Alfred made him a suit for him.
Alfred,
yeah. He made it a suit and he does a little. It's like, okay, cool. He's starting to actually come into being the bats.
Right.
You got your girls. You got Catwoman on there. Penguin's on there.
Catwoman, man, I still don't understand her.
Yeah, she's interesting.
She's definitely a supporting character, but it's like
there's a while you can put women in black leather and make me forget who's who. Right. Because there's Black Cat, Catwoman, Black Widow. Like there's so many different types of. But so I mean, I'm dabbling in Marvel and DC, but it's still like, all right, the same costume design here. And
it's like it's always the thing, like, kind of making them look a little provocative.
Yeah, keeps the people going, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, because for a while, I think for the most part, Scarlett Johansson was the reason why a lot of people wanted to see the Avengers.
Yeah.
So and then now she's getting her own movie.
Yeah, I wonder. Because Marvel didn't run into this. They don't run into this problem yet. Mm-hmm. But when do they not need to make somebody a movie? Because I know all their characters are becoming to a point where we care about them. Right. But do we care about enough to make a movie about them?
That's a good question because there are literally hundreds of characters in the universe. So how do they have to go to like focus groups? Right.
Because Black Panther could have easily been a messed up movie.
It could have.
It could have been like one of the. Why did you make one? Why did you make Black Panther? Because essentially he's really not a big part of these Avengers.
Yeah. Because he's basically in Wakanda for the most part. Well, he worked with the Avengers a few times in the comics.
Right. He basically, when you look at Infinity War and Black Panther, you're like, oh, we set you up to be the base.
Right.
Because
we're going to use all your stuff, so we're going to come in Africa.
Exactly. We need to let people know that this is vibranium and this is some crazy stuff.
Right.
So when that battle happens, this makes sense.
It is messed up too. Like Wakanda was so peaceful.
Yeah. And y'all
literally messed up. But if you think about it too, though, you know how they say Africa is literally like, the cradle of all civilization.
Yeah.
And it is funny that Thanos. Spoilers. Thanos would go to the cradle of civilization to end it.
Yeah, that's some deep stuff right there.
Yeah, or at least to end half of it.
Exactly.
I never even thought about that until just now.
The conflict between those two movies is, as far as I remember, I think the Spider-Man movie is supposed to come out before Avengers 4. Right. How will we explain that?
Well,
because is there really a time between Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War, and this next movie, and then Avengers 4. Avengers 4.
Avengers 4. In theaters March.
I need to get you to a trailer for me.
Man, exactly.
Whenever I figure that out. That's mine.
Oh, Harry Potter?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I from what I thought they were supposed to be doing was, what's her name? Captain Marvel, her movie was supposed to come out in like February.
March,
okay. And then Avengers was supposed to come out a month or two later. Uh-huh. And then Homecoming was supposed to come out, or Homecoming 2 was supposed to come out after
Avengers 4.
Because they say the first scene of the next Spider-Man Homecoming, it takes place right after the last battle they have where they're fighting Thanos, which is what kind of screwed the pooch and let everybody know that Spider-Man is still alive. You saw what happened to him in the last one.
Yeah.
But everybody knew. It's like, there's no way you're going to kill off that many
You're
characters.
not going to start out and say, Spider-Man Homecoming is the foundation, and we're going to learn about Spider-Man all over again and introduce him. Right. Oh, he's gone.
Exactly.
Nobody's doing that.
It's same thing with Black Panther.
You're not
Black
killing
Panther
off.
made you too much money.
It made you way too much money.
Right. It's like you're not going to just kill that cash cow. No one's that arrogant.
I get Captain America. Eventually, you're going to have to do something with him.
They're actually saying he's supposed to be coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Who they said it was giving away? And they said it was some people not coming back.
Captain America was supposed to be the one. He was like, they were saying how, they had said farewell to him on set and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to come back. You offer them enough money.
Yeah, I know, right?
They were saying they were going to start phasing out Iron Man.
Okay, that makes sense.
People were saying he's supposed to be the one to die.
That makes sense because he didn't die. And
he set the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe on his head.
It's kind of the passing the torch thing.
Yeah.
And then they've been talking about your girl, the girl Iron Woman, where there's they were talking. Okay, there's pictures that show up, right? I'm not too familiar with this, but I'm assuming I've saw that. The Black Panther sister.
Oh, Shuri?
Yeah, she made.
Shuri?
If you want to do something with her, you could make her Iron Woman. And
smart.
She knows how to use she knows technology stuff.
Right.
That's the setup that I saw. I don't know what's really backing that up, but I thought it was a cool idea to be like, that'd be a good way to kill off Iron Man and be like, this is the person that we can.
Legit.
Yeah, we can use her to push that image out. And I know Marvel has all these other little characters in their universe.
Oh man, they've got plenty of them, man. I even heard they're talking about bringing back Blade.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, I wonder who they would actually get to play him.
Yeah, of course you can't get your boy.
Yeah.
I don't know, just some young black dude.
I think the perfect dude who could play Blade, but he doesn't really have. He's got more good years behind him than he does in front of him. Is Idris Elba. I feel like he could really pull off a Blade, man.
The only problem is that I'm trying to see this face. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm in the boat. It's because I'm on this train in DC. I want to see new faces. I don't want to see the same Superman. I don't want to see Batman. I was mad when Affleck was Batman because I'm like,
oh man, he's one of the worst Batmen that I can remember seeing.
So I was just like, I don't need it.
Michael Keaton was a better Batman.
Right. And I'm mad. I mean, it's sad that the way that he's not going to be Batman is because of his health stuff. I think is.
Oh yeah, he's got all the rehab.
Yeah.
Check-ins and all that stuff.
I mean, that's kind of sucks. That has to be the reason. I didn't want him to be that because I wanted Batman to grow, and I like to see young Bruce Wayne or whatever. But I'm getting off track because I don't know what I even said before this. What did I say?
Oh man, now I'm forgetting. I wish we can just literally go back in time.
Yeah,
wow.
right. Or at least I'm eventually try to get a system where I can play it back. But it doesn't stop me from recording.
I wonder, would they have to go through a DJ mix type thing?
Probably. It probably would.
Yeah, maybe.
Either. I don't know. I don't know how that would work.
You'll get there.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'll figure it out. It'll pop up. But whatever it is, I just would rather have a new. I think it was about. It was somebody being new played. Who's?
Oh yeah, we were talking about Blade and.
Blade. I would like to see a new Blade. I would like to see a young new Blade.
Who would you want to see as Blade?
I see a person. I don't know anybody that is out that would be Blade.
Like a younger. Oh, well, he couldn't be Blade at this point. I mean, he's already been a villain. But Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan was already supposed to be somebody else.
Other than Killmonger?
Yes. Oh, because of the Fantastic Four. Not Fantastic Four. My bad. Not that.
Fantastic Four.
He was in there, but that's not the same studios, so that wouldn't have been a conflict.
But multiple people though have played
Superman. That's what they were talking about him being. I don't know.
Michael B. Jordan being Superman. I couldn't see that, man.
He's too small.
He is, man.
And he doesn't look like. I wouldn't believe that he's Superman.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know who. I think it was Superman though.
I want to say Chris Evans is the other person that's actually played multiple people. Yeah, because Chris Evans was in Fantastic Four, and then he was also in multiple movies as Captain America. Yeah, but there's somebody else too. I want to say that's been in one role but ended up playing another hero. I can't remember exactly who though.
I can't either. But I don't know, Michael. I don't feel like Michael. He's not convincing to me as intimidating. He's not I'm not gonna oh yeah, he's bad. Well, that's
yeah. I mean, who else would be that's actually?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said somebody just need to give somebody a shot.
Yeah,
just give them another just give us another Blade.
I mean, if you really think about it, how many black action heroes do we really have?
Not much. I mean, I would love to see a Static Shock.
Static Shock.
You don't know Static Shock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? Static Shock
from DC?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's why. No,
do you know Black Lightning?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I've actually had the show queued up in my Netflix queue.
Okay.
I haven't watched it yet, but all my friends love it.
Okay. So Black Lightning, essentially, him and Static Shock kind of have that same powers. But Static Shock used to have an old show back in the Saturday cartoon days.
Really?
Yeah.
Static Shock.
Yeah, it was a very.
Was he just like rub his feet on carpet and just
no,
shock the hell out of people?
he would always like fly on a disc, and he did also. Have you watched Batman Beyond?
I've seen one episode. I think my entire life.
Static Shock was on that one of those episodes one time.
That was the Batman. He had like the red bat on his, and it was like the look was
right.
What kind of threw me off. Yeah,
Batman was in the cave with him, but he was kind of teaching him stuff. Yeah, Static Shock's a cool character. You gotta look him up. He's
yeah.
He was the reason why I even started liking yellow and blue. Because the color patterns are pretty cool.
I definitely haven't seen him then. Now that I think about it. Because the only person I knew that was like yellow and blue back in the day was Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
So, but yeah, give him a look. He's got a pretty good show out there. But yeah, I would love to see a Static Shock introduced. But I think, the only problem with DC stuff is because you're running across those TVs, the TV characters. And you don't want to just introduce like a Black Lightning and then you're going to see him on a movie.
Right.
And you're like, wait.
You have to like give time to develop the story.
Exactly. So that's really like The Flash. Like, you see the show, but you're not like, I mean, that could easily be explained because The Flash does a whole bunch of multi-universe things. So that could easily be explained in that sense. But
that's true.
DC, they kind of cover their bases on that crap.
Yeah, I mean, because it's all about making sure you kind of minimize the amount of missteps that you have.
Yeah,
and that's like something that's very, very easy to do.
Right.
Like, because Marvel's had plenty of missteps.
Yeah.
Like whatever they were doing before, like the first few Hulk movies that came out.
Yeah.
Absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, but you just have to learn, and I think DC is in a really good spot because they can really pick up on the mistakes that Marvel's making.
Yeah.
The only thing that's bad about it right now is that Marvel's not really making too many mistakes.
Yeah.
Because
they're not being remembered by their mistakes.
Yeah, man.
Accomplishments.
Because like, how many of their last movies have been in the top 10 grossing movies of all time? And
I think Black Panther's finally in Best Picture this year.
Is it really?
I don't know for what award show, but I did see that post.
But that's a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah. And then I'm not going to get into that because that gets into a whole other conversation. Because I was about to say, like, how the reason why superhero movies being certain categories, because of everything like the graphic effects and all that, the colorful, the things that you're drawing to in the fan base, is a lot more like give me what I want and not really about how detailed things are based off of just what they build in this world. A lot of things is CG, and it's like, is that fair? Is that really fair to people that are actually now? Granted, there's some movies that I feel like shouldn't even won.
Yeah,
it's like I never even heard of it, or when I watched it, it wasn't that serious.
Right.
But that's still my opinion. But that's just that kind of gets into a whole nother little bit of like, what categorizes as the best picture?
Yeah, I mean, because what advantages? Half the movies are one of those things up there to where I kind of look at them to like, just because you can make a movie doesn't mean that you necessarily should.
Right. And then I'm thinking if you make it in own category, is that fair too? Like best superhero movie?
Yeah, because there's like nothing else to compare it to.
Yeah.
Or there's like a limited amount of things to compare it to at that point.
Right. And there's certain superhero movies they tap into some real stuff.
Yeah.
And I give them in those movies I kind of understand, but I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's fair to put a CGI movie, a heavily CGI movie.
Green Lantern.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that movie was terrible.
Jeez.
I'm glad that. Oh, that was your boy. He was.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, and playing in Deadpool. That's kind of.
That's the other one I was thinking about.
Yeah. That was the other one.
Yeah.
But yeah. Dang, bro, we really rambled on.
We did.
That was pretty good too. I got 2 minutes before this camera turns off, but let me see if I could do it before it cuts off.
Oh, what do you think?
Because I'll have like 3 clips of videos and it'll be like whatever. But I'm gonna end it here, y'all. We're probably gonna see a lot more of you because we do pretty good.
We're a good team, man.
We sure do. And you need to start your podcast up.
I do, man.
You need to, because
you need to be the first one I have on there, since
there you go.
This is the first podcast I've ever done.
Exactly.
So,
and it's simple, man. You just riffed.
Man, we were in here for a nice little minute trying to figure out the technical side.
I saw the sun go down. Right. That's the only bad thing about us having a window, because you're like, oh,
geez,
dang.
Man, we really have been at it for a while.
Exactly. But see more of him. You got any plugs?
The Thunder Club podcast.
Thunder Club podcast. Whenever you get that out.
Yep.
Whenever that comes out, I'll have a link in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're not, then my bad. But if you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.
Peace.